That's the moment the Party for Socialism and Liberation says was inaudible in the critical incident video showing the police shooting that killed Adam Sykes.
Today we tell Mike Brown and the ruling class that we won't be divided. We've seen these tricks before. Immigrants are not dangerous. Capitalism is.
Welcome to another episode of Naptown People's Radio, a weekly podcast brought to you by the Indianapolis branch of the Party for Socialism and Liberation. I'm your host, Dani Abdullah, and I'm joined by my comrade and co-host,
Derek Ford.
We're here to guide you through the pressing issues facing Indianapolis from the perspective of our people, not our oppressors. And as organizers involved in these issues, we're not just talking about the news, we're making it happen. So on today's episode, we sat down with Cinder Patel and Cloyd, who are two library workers and members of AFSCME 3395, who got with us to talk about what it's like working in the library, what they would do with a 30% raise, and what the union has done for the workers. Now, before we hear from Cinder and Sim, we're going to hear from Derek in the Naptown Breakdown. So what's going on in Naptown this week, Derek?
The need for a fight back movement.
Okay.
I say that's how I sum it up. So yesterday, July 27th, the ACLU filed two new lawsuits against Miami Correctional Facility, put correctional in quotation marks, on behalf of an ICE detainee who was deprived of his seizure medication by the private contracted, medical provider, and subsequently had a seizure, hit his head, fell to the floor where he was found lying in a pool of his own blood. And then he was finally taken to the hospital. It doesn't end there, though. There's one other matter, which has to do with his immediate return to Miami. So he went back to a cell, and then several guard COs came up to him and were like, pack your bags, you're moving, right? And he was like asking questions. Okay, where to? Why? He's never had he hasn't had any serious issues or anything like that. And as they drew him closer to the slot where you exchange the meal plates, they just started pepper spraying him. And so he can't identify the COs because he couldn't see. It's just truly barbaric, right? What's happening. And last week, investigative journalist Christine Phillips released her findings in Indy Star, which were just all around damaging. So they concluded that the Miami and Centurion were callously ignoring the necessary steps to take as Braun moves to turn Miami into the Speedway Slammer, right? So there were staffing shortages, and as a result of that, there was a massive backlog of medical care, even above the limits that set in the state's contract. So they were in violation of the state's contract. And then as the number of backlogs got above 100, right, and kept growing, they just didn't report them to the state. And based on internal emails and interviews with nurses, who are basically just doing the best they can, right? I mean, they took the Hippocratic Oath, I think, and, Phillips emailed one of the people who Phillips interviewed called Centurion's backlog data, quote, crazy fake, end quote. And then, of course, earlier this year, earlier this month, really, the latest warden, Brian English, announced his resignation. So that place is, just tear it down, Yeah. Meanwhile, we're building a, $1.2 billion one.
Exactly.
Supermax prison. And we should note this is not a bug, but a feature built into the system. So in April of this year, actually, the ACLU won 31 lawsuits and a $2.1 million in settlement money for the barbaric treatment of their clients who were caged in these, total darkness. They couldn't clean the floors, which were, flooded with sewage. They had to wait days to shower for a total of 15 minutes. And even some of the COs and administrators were warned about the devastating physical, psychological, and other tolls this would have on any human. One of the 31 plaintiffs said the warden told them if they missed having daylight, they could, quote, draw the sun on the steel plates, end quote.
Okay.
Yeah, so that just goes to show you who these quote unquote people are. And for our longtime listeners and for us, this is sadly nothing new. Earlier this year, we had Dani Ortiz on the show, who was in the medical ward. And he was just, we're trying to get him, and we did, like the people did, get a new Hoya lift so they could be removed from their beds and like receive visitors and do other things. But the fact that, shout out to everybody who called and emailed, because it might seem like this is really going to make a difference, but in this case, it really did. But he also talked about how they tried to, separate the real criminals who are the ICE detainees from like the other inmates, right? But in reality, they were all working together at night to make sure that like somebody could, get to the bathroom and to relieve themselves and whatnot. And so, we called in the community to do a zap and demand a new Hoya lift, and we won that victory not long after. So, that's one of the reasons why right now we've got another phone zap and email blast going to Ryan Mears' office to get him to drop the ridiculous charges against Lamonte Thomas and file the charges against the actual killer, Christian Bennell, 21-year-old drunken white guy who was waving his gun around downtown Indianapolis, and Lamonte and his uncle Jamar heroically, stopped him, and Jamar lost his life in that process. So the police didn't arrest, detain, or question the white guy, of course. Go to IndyLiberationCenter.org for that. And then yesterday, over 300,000 Haitians in the U.S., many of whom have been here for, years, if not decades, lost their right to work and any legal remedy to remain in the country overnight. The Supreme Court's June ruling cleared the way for the termination of temporary protected status and reached the lower courts today. And ICE is reportedly preparing to move within days, with Springfield, Ohio, as a primary target, the same one that Trump slandered in 2024 with the lies about Haitian immigrants eating pets. In Indiana, around 7,000 of our Haitian brothers and sisters were simply stripped of their TPS status overnight and removed from the workforce. That's out of the 11,000 Haitian TPS holders who live in Indiana, which is actually home to one of the largest Haitian populations. And so, I think it's important to just put a little bit of historical context in this. Like, if anything, we owe Haitians immense amounts of reparations because in 1804, they dared to, become the first Black republic after enslaved Africans overthrew the French colonial oppressors. And that revolutionary victory was met with, economic warfare. So in 1825, under the threat of reinvasion, Haiti was forced to pay 150 million francs, later reduced to 90 million francs, as, quote, compensation to former slaveholders. So like charging Haitians for their freedom. And in December of 1914, the U.S. Marines just went into Haiti, removed about $500,000 in gold from their national bank under pressure from Wall Street. They shipped this gold to New York City, and the recipient was then the National City Bank of New York, which is now Citigroup. So that's how Citigroup got started, by stealing gold from Haiti. And then, of course, the overthrow of, the democratically elected popular president, I believe in 2010, that was in 2009, has left Haiti, in addition to, terrible like earthquakes and natural disasters that have been exacerbated by politics. So if anything, like we owe, and by we, I mean like imperialist countries, Haiti reparations, serious reparations.
I live on the far east side, which is the real east side.
I heard about that.
Yeah.
All right. I was wondering, is it west or east? I can't remember.
It's far east side. And a lot of my neighbors are Haitian. I worked with a lot of Haitian people also just in like my job as a therapist. And I was actually just talking to a client about this as well. I'm not going to get into that, but essentially we were talking about like a lot of the stereotypes against Haitian people. Her mom was recently dating a very well-known Republican. I'll put it that way. And he has a lot of things to say about Haitian people. And her mom is
sounds like a great guy.
Yes. Her mom's a speech therapist though, and she works with a lot of Haitian people. And her mom, through meeting a lot of Haitian families, has come to the conclusion that like Haitian people actually aren't that bad. It's amazing what happens when you actually get to know people, and don't just like read about them in the news. And like they are some of the most like, obviously they're not a monolith. I'm sure there are some Haitian people who are like, you know, assholes, but like, that can be said for anybody though. But the Haitian people that I know are some of the like most kind and generous people I know. And they're always trying to feed me food. Food is bomb, by the way, like so good. But I'm just like, when I read that article about, thousands of them no longer being able to work, and just like how hard it already is to like feed yourself right now and just to get by. Like there's no, I don't understand how anyone can think that this is like, they're getting rid of criminals. I don't know how anyone can sit here and think that this is I don't know who this is for the betterment of, honestly.
I'll give you one guess.
It's just devastating. You know, yeah. I'm thinking about my neighbors, and thinking about people I've done therapy with and their kids who I've done therapy with. And I'm just like devastated for them. I don't have anything like, I don't think revolutionary to say right here, other than like, we're going to continue to show up and show out for them. And we're going to do our best to support them. Like I said, a lot of my neighbors, not most of them, but a lot of my neighbors are Haitian, just because of the area that I live in. So,
which is
I live on the far east side.
The real east side. Okay.
I live on the real east side. Just
clarifying.
And I know that, like, because I talk to my neighbors and I know some are anxious about this in particular and the possibility of ICE showing up in our neighborhoods. But it's also the Far East Side, baby. Like, I don't think that's the place you want to, I don't think ICE wants to show up in my neck of the woods.
Let's make sure they don't, you know? And that's why Thursday night at 6:00 at the Liberation Center, we're going to be painting a banner for a car caravan of Fishers on Saturday to let, Bovine know he isn't welcome. Him and his kind are not welcome here. And, we're going to stay ready to be mobilized to go to Springfield if we're needed, because really what is the only thing that can, roll this back is a mass movement in the streets. Absolutely. And that's died down, but it can pop back up anytime. And I think just the fact that like you can have your, any one of us can have our rights stripped away overnight by 9 unelected people who serve for life, right? I mean, that should piss anybody off. So yeah, if you don't think it's your fight, it is your fight. And so we hope to see you there.
Yeah. I think also just like, to that point, going back to the conversation of Miami, man, I'm tired of hearing about Miami. Not in a sense of like I don't want to hear it because I need to hear it. I need to know what's going on there. But in the sense of like, in what world is it like? And my mind doesn't think that way because I'm not a horrible human being. But like, to deny this man his medicine, he has to go to the hospital. He comes back from like this very traumatic experience, and then he's pepper sprayed and attacked, right? Like, and we've talked about this on here before, but like for those, and I know people like this, for those who like have loved ones who are correctional officers or whatever the case may be, like I want y'all to have a conversation with them about what do y'all do at work? What are you doing at work? Because whoever these people are, like, did this to this man and then went home afterwards and like went about their day.
Hey,
like,
honey, how was your day?
Yeah.
Yep.
right? Like,
And their kids are thinking their dad's some kind of hero
is
or
a
something.
hero, you know?
He's
and
really
like,
a
honey,
terrorist.
your father's a terrorist, is a monster, literally, in the most like literal sense that there is. But again, like, just like we did for Dani, you know, the people did for Dani. Great name, by the way. But like, we're going to continue to show up for Miami as well. And like, the only way that things are going to get better is we continue talking about it and we continue to like expose what they're doing there. Yeah.
And organize.
And
act, because that's it, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. I think that's it for the Naptown Breakdown. We will be right back after a short break with Sim and Cinder. I am sitting here with Sim Cloyd and Cinder Patel, and they are both library workers, and they're both in the union, and they're going to be talking to us about, you know, what is going on with the library. They're going to be talking about this 30% raise that Greg Hill recently received, and a lot of other things we're going to rap about. But I do want to make this note that, like, yes, they are in the union, but they are not here speaking on behalf of the union. They're speaking on behalf of themselves as individuals, and super grateful for y'all being here. So, yeah, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Yes. So we're going to get started. So first question I have for y'all is, how long have the two of you been working in the library, in the union, and like, how did that come to be? How and why did you join the union?
Can I go? Okay, yeah, I'll go. I'm Sim. I have been working for the library since October, so I'm still fairly new. As we're recording this, it's July, so still fairly new. I just recently joined the union because I was part-time when I started, and then I switched to full-time, and I was told that I couldn't join the union because I was part-time.
I remember us having a conversation.
Yeah, we had a conversation. Someone said that to me, so then I didn't think I could join, but I guess that has since changed, and if you are part-time, you can join the union. So I don't know if there was a miscommunication or if there was a change, but I wasn't a part of the union. And then I transferred to a full-time position, and I immediately joined the union.
Okay.
And that was around April. So I've been in my current position for a little over 90 days now. And you asked,
congratulations.
Yeah.
Past the hump. I've been working for the library for about 2 years now. I started as a page, so part-time. That was hard.
Yeah.
Pulling any extra shifts that I could, still barely getting by. So definitely have some issues with this whole race thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I have been a part of the union for probably about 1.5 years or so.
Okay. So most of the time, for both of you, it's like most of the time that you've been at the library, you have been in the union. Is there like something like in particular, because y'all joined pretty soon, like is there something in particular that you were like, okay, I want to be a part of the union?
I had a coworker, the librarian at the branch that I work at. She is very passionate about the union. And so I like found out about it through talking to her just naturally about my interest in it, if it exists. And it did. So that was wonderful.
Yeah. My dad works in like construction, so he's always been in a union. And so he's always been in a union. So I'm just like, okay, I'm going to join the union. I didn't even really give it much of a thought at all. I knew I was going to join.
No, that's valid. My appa who raised me, he's my stepdad, but he's who raised me. He is also in a union. And so I don't think I grew up really knowing. I'm just like, yeah, unions. Sometimes he doesn't go to work because he's got to get a raise and they don't want to give him a raise. And so like, that's what I knew about unions. I was like,
fair.
You know, they make sure that you get your raise. That's what they do. And so like my takes on unions have always been positive because I'm like, man, you don't got to work and you're going to get some more money when you go back.
Mm-hmm.
That's sick. I love that for you.
I was in a production of Newsies in high school.
Nice.
There's a whole thing about unions. And
Absolutely.
Absolutely. The whole thing.
Okay, you're a theater kid. That makes a lot of sense,
I haven't
actually.
even seen that, but I know about that at least.
Yes.
Newsboy Rebellion, yeah.
Oh my God, I love that.
I'm a theater kid. Okay.
No, that hits. The
I'm
little
a
bit I know,
library,
the little
I'm a
bit I know about
theater
you,
kid.
that
There's
hits. Yeah.
so many theater kids in the library.
So many theater kids, so many queer people,
Yep.
so many former baristas, former
That ties in with queer
former
people, yeah,
summer
for sure.
camp
Yeah.
counselors, all the things.
Yep.
Like
A lot of autistic people.
so many autistic people. So
Oh my-
the whole spectrum. It's
Shout out to
just-
Bree Flannelly.
Shout out to the mentally ill, the gays.
Oh my God, I love this. Okay. So speaking of the union, we're going to be talking about the union a lot, obviously, but back in 2006 is when the union kind of was its inception. That's when it started. And it was in response to Central Library being built, right? And everyone being on this wage freeze, right? Like nobody could get an increase in their pay because for some reason, they didn't account for how much money Central Library was going to cost, and they went over budget. And so they ended up freezing everyone's wages as a result of that, because obviously that's everyone else's fault, not the people who are supposed to be creating the budget.
course.
That is sarcasm for those who don't understand sarcasm. That is except the CEO at the time. So the CEO gave herself a 10% raise while everyone else was on this wage freeze, which rightfully so pissed off a lot of the library workers at the time. And so AFSCME 3395 came to be, and it has, since its inception, has been this fighting union. It's been amazing. Is there an incident that you can name that the union has done something for you? And if not you, another worker, someone that you know or care about?
I know recently, was it shipping and receiving? Did you hear about this? They had that. It was shipping and receiving. So it was last week or 2 weeks ago, very recently. It was super hot. There's been this heat wave happening in Indy, which is so crazy because it was not hot at all. And now it's super hot, crazy enough as the weather works. But shipping and receiving, they ship and receive. What else can I say? They do a lot. They're the people that transport our totes of books. And so if you have a hold of a book, and as you may know, who's listening to this, if you place a hold on the book, you can get it shipped to a different branch. If I have a book and I'm I want to place a hold on this book, but I only have it at Central, my home branch is West Perry, I can place a hold and have that book shipped to West Perry. But those are, people ship those books, actually, and there'll be
So much.
it's so many books, and there'll be totes of books, and they'll ship these books, and then we have to it's a whole process. And depending on the branch that you're at, bigger or smaller, you're getting some branches are getting 60 totes a day, full of books, and they're heavy. They're heavy totes. And
it wasn't until recently that they actually started saying, maybe we should start like weighing these to make sure we're not getting them too heavy.
Oh my God. They're
God.
so heavy.
Okay.
They're so
Okay.
heavy. And
Yeah.
but our amazing shipping and receiving team does that daily. And they were told that there were allocated funds for, if it's super hot, they'll get Gatorade, sports drinks, to support their
I love
team.
that. Okay.
You would love that if that was the case. Because
Okay,
here's the
all right.
thing. They were hey, cool. So we heard about this thing. We really need that. And they were we don't have that now. We're not getting you that. So they went to the staff association. Shipping and receiving went to staff association. And they agreed to give them some funds. Be hey. And so they have some funds. And then they also came to the union, and the union matched those funds that the staff association sent them for shipping and receiving.
Oh.
But yeah, getting that email in the union chat, it inspired me, because I was okay, because everyone was just replying yes, yes, we need to give our shipping and receiving team these funds. Everyone was just yes, whatever. But it also irritated me, because I'm just what do you mean you weren't getting that, and then other people were okay, can we also send them food? Can we also give them liquid IV packs? Can we also give them some water? Can we, and that was really inspiring to see everyone come together in that way. But it was a little annoying that that promise wasn't kept up. I don't know if that's in writing somewhere. I'm not on shipping and receiving. I don't know the exact thing, the logistics of it, but even if there's, I don't even know, like, why can't you just give them some money? Like, I don't understand. Like, just give them some sports drinks, give them some, it's so hot and they do so much. Like, yeah, that's my high horse. Sorry.
Yeah. Cause I mean, like, I think the question would be like, okay, do you want us to ship them and y'all receive or not? Because like, it's so hot. Like, I won't even like, I'm not really a person, I think I've talked about this on here. I'm not really a person who like, I'm not like speciesist. I think animals are just as important as humans, but like, I'm not even taking my dog out right now, like it is so hot outside. I'm like, dude, you're gonna have to wait for the sun to go down before we can go for a walk, And so like, if people are lifting these huge totes so that I can get heated rivalries, yeah, like,
and let me tell you, those are going from branch to
branch. 1,000%.
Those books are going from branch to branch.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure.
Oh
yeah.
my God, they're going
and
off.
like there's some I work at one of the little baby branches, and so we just have like a van that comes by and drops off a little stack of totes. But I've worked at many of the bigger branches, and they have like a full huge truck that comes in. And it's so much. And they have to do, obviously, multiple deliveries to multiple branches.
Right.
It's not just to the one.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Yeah. Wow. Okay. And I mean, and so the union, I mean, right, matched that and was like, and like, obvious, I feel like that should be a no-brainer. Of like, yeah. Let's make sure they have.
It was a no-brainer.
Would hope that it would be a no-brainer, like just in general.
Yeah.
Apparently not.
Apparently not.
I love that. I love that. I mean, like, and you pay dues, right? Like, you have to pay dues to be a part of the union, and like, and I'm assuming like this is what like some of those dues can go towards.
Yes,
right?
like, things like this.
That. Yeah. Okay.
It's wonderful to be able to like actually, and they always ask. They always are like, "Oh, can we put this amount? Like, we're thinking about putting this amount towards this." And they just like ask for approval straight up. And it's awesome that they do that. Not that, I mean, like, it's always great. It's always like something that everyone's like, hell yeah, dude, go for it.
Yeah.
But it's sweet that they ask in general.
It's good for transparency.
Yeah.
You know? Like, I feel like, okay, like they understand that a lot of us don't get paid a lot anyway, and we're paying to be a part of this. And so they want us to know what our dues are going towards. And I really appreciate that.
I think that's valid, right? Like, I think that's something, it's not necessarily the same thing, but here at the Liberation Center, when like people are like, they're like donating, we're like, we want to show you what that's going towards, right? Because there's so many things that we're paying into. Yep. And it's like, what is my money even going to do here, right? Like, I'm thinking about my AES bill the other day, like, for some reason, they were like apparently there was a glitch and like another one. I'm like, how many? I sound like DJ Khaled, but like, how many times is there going to be a glitch? And like, I got to call y'all about my bill. And like, already my bill is astronomical anyway. I don't even want to pay it.
Right.
I'm like,
hoping that you don't notice.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is this money actually going towards? Like, because I'm using the same amount of energy that I was using last year. Just saying, I don't know what this is going towards. So that's beautiful. I think that like they're actually asking you, like, is it okay that we give people Gatorade and but like there are people in the library who don't want to do that. So like, unfortunately, that is a question apparently that needs to be asked. Wow. Okay. All right.
I think it also I'm just like happy that I know that happened, because I'm like, oh, that just shows me I need to support those people more. Just Absolutely. When I see them, like, oh, thanks for shipping and receiving. Love you guys.
Yeah.
It's great to like see how supportive everyone is. I got some free furniture from Michael Torres one time. So that was awesome.
I love that. I love Michael Torres.
He's a very nice guy. Every time I see him,
dude.
when I first got the position at Central, I emailed and I was like, "Hey, I want to join the union. How do I do that?" And he immediately was like, "Hey, are you in the building right now? You want to meet?" And I was like,
Nice.
"Oh, yeah, I can meet." And we just met real quick, and he was just telling me like the rundown. And I also found out that I'm the first person in my department to ever join the union.
Interesting.
Didn't know
I remember you
that.
telling me that.
He sent that in the email. He was like, "Sim is the first person in events to ever join the union." And I was like, "Really?" I was like, "Okay."
Trendsetter.
And it's, like even I told my manager and she was like, "Great, amazing. Like, I want you to be a part of this." Like,
That's what's up. That's what's up. Why do you think there's a reason for that? Why, like, I mean, I've heard that like there's not a ton of like young people, and apparently there are not a lot of people in your department either. Like, is there a reason that you think that is of like why it's harder to recruit there, or maybe it's not? But
I can speak from my department and say that I would hypothesize that, because I work in events. From what I have seen in the past, and specifically the events department, what I've heard is that there was kind of a division with the events department at the library, particularly from library staff, because they were like, I guess, I don't even know, like they were just like, "Oh, like you bring these wedding clients and they're just horrible and they destroy the library and all this other crazy stuff." And it's like, guys, we're just doing our jobs, you know?
Yeah.
But it also comes from, there was just conflict with past people that worked there. Some deserved, some undeserved, just blew up, just conflict, whatever. But now it's definitely like, I would say it's like not that. Like, I feel very integrated into library culture at my branch, or at the branch at Central. Central's not a branch. Sorry, don't kill me. That's like,
I didn't know that was a thing.
no,
Okay.
they are really, guys.
Some people, I think it's stupid, but
It's like,
I didn't know that was a thing. Okay.
You have to think of it as a tree, and Central is the
Central is just
The base.
so much huger than anywhere.
But you're not allowed to call it.
all this other stuff.
You're not allowed to call
It's
it a
insane.
branch. It's like the tree, and then all the other ones are the branches of the tree. So
Interesting.
guys, don't hurt me. But
Okay.
But I feel pretty integrated into Central, and I feel like we're my team is very into the library vibes. Like, we're all readers. We all been doing summer reading. We've all been helping out with all the little programming events that are library events and all the fun stuff. But I think that's my hypothesis. That's my hypothesis, that in the past it's just been that division was there, and it was just this pre-notion that like we were just destroying the library and bringing these outside people in and all this other fun stuff.
Okay.
Which one can make an argument for that, but also we just work here, like it's not our fault. Like,
You want outside people to come into the library. I don't know.
yeah,
Yep.
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
that's what I think too. But
At my branch, I know, like, so I work at the Havel branch, but I also float around to some of the other West Side branches. I do.
that's how we met.
And
A floater,
yes.
and Cinder is amazing at it.
Thanks. Martindale Brightwood is considered under the West branches at the moment because of the like overall manager for them. Whatever. I
Okay.
don't know the
All right.
situation.
Martindale Brightwood is not on the
No,
west
it's
side.
not on the west side.
All right. Okay. All right.
But I just have spoken to a lot of people who I know for a fact aren't a part of the union. And a lot of them, like, definitely haven't joined because it costs any money at all. I know so many people even managers who are living paycheck to paycheck, especially those with children.
Yeah.
Or just any dependents, any medical issues going on, because that's huge. There's even just a few dollars can make a difference for them.
Yeah. No, yeah. And I mean, I totally get that because, like, I think we see, here in the PSL, we're not anti-union. Let me say that before I say what I'm about to say. But, like, there are some unions that you see, and, like, they're not fighting for the workers, right? Like, there are, unfortunately, there are unions out there, which is weird because, like, that's where unions come from, is, like, fighting for the workers. But, like, AFSCME 3395 is not one of those unions. And, like, I mean, like, that was just a great example that you just gave Sim of like, yeah, let's get them some like Gatorade and like get them some things so like they're not like literally dying from heat exhaustion, and like Michael Torres is going to these board meetings and like taking notes and making sure people are informed. Michael Torres is the reason why like here at the Liberation Center we even knew about this raise that was proposed for Greg Hill, and like he is out here, and not just Michael Torres, like those who were in the union and like higher up in the union are like fighting for the rights of the workers and fighting for those wages, so that like it is worth it to, like, this is me on the outside, but like it sounds like it's worth it to give up those dues because they're going to bat.
Yeah, 1,000%. If I could cover other people's dues, I would happily do so. Because I find it very fulfilling.
Yeah. So we've alluded to this a few times, but so Greg Hill, just received this 30% raise. I was there, unfortunately, when that went through. And actually, Cinder, you pointed out before we started recording, part-time workers. This is on the hill of like heel. Okay, anyway, but like
I thought the same exact thing, and I was like, I hope he makes that joke.
This is on the heel of like part-time workers losing their insurance benefits, and the reason given for that was like cost too much money. They weren't using their insurance, which like I'm not supposed to cuss on here, but I call bullshit. Like I cannot imagine people like not using their health insurance, but. Yeah. Okay. But even if they're not, like, that doesn't mean like they should lose it, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Like, why would you want them to be in the hospital?
And how many is they? How many people is they? Right? Like, that's so many people work for the library. Like, that's so stupid.
And it's also not too long after they decided to do the percentage raise instead of the flat rate wage that we had been fighting for, because of course percentage raise is wonderful for people who make over 100,000 a year.
Absolutely.
But for people who make 40,000 a year, it's a lot less.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. So with this 30% raise Greg Hill has gotten, first off, I mean, one, how are y'all feeling about that? But also like what, and dream big, what could you do with a 30% raise for yourselves?
I would be able to actually help my mom pay out for medical bills. She has a laundry list of medical issues and she is housebound, and I would love for her to be able to like leave the house. But unfortunately, all those resources are not being funded right now that like allow people to do that. And so we would have to pay for something like that. And so I'd love to be able to do that, but this is expensive. Yeah. I also have a bajillion student loans, and I'm only adding to them in my pursuit of becoming a librarian because I'm working on my master's right now. Yeah. And like that's a lot of money. And I'd be able, like, I've never had the funds to pay off my student loans. And in fact, currently I make enough, and I have been making like a low amount enough that they just haven't had me pay because of how high like my monthly thing would be is just not feasible.
Yeah.
And so being able to actually start paying those off, especially with like there was, I don't know if there still is, an option for library workers. If you work for the library for 10 years, your student loans get forgiven if you're paying for them during those 10 years, of course.
Okay.
And so that's something I would like to do, but I'd have to be able to afford to pay them off in the first place.
Yeah.
Start paying them off at least.
Yeah. You could do like I did. I forgave myself for my student loans. Like I was so young. I forgive myself, you know. Honestly, shame on the United States for giving me that much money at 19. Like, that's ridiculous. Yeah. What about you, Sim?
I would pay off my loans. I don't have a lot of loans, thank God, but I would pay them off. And I want to go back to school so bad. Like, I think about it so much. I graduate in 2025. and I want to get my master's, and I want to eventually get my PhD.
Whoa, cool.
I do. I want, like, Dr. Cloyd eats. That would just
cool.
be so bad. Like,
Absolutely.
I was talking to my partner, and I was like, imagine they address us, and it's like Mr. and Doctor. Like, that would be so bad. and they were like, oh, well, if I go back and we're Doctor and Doctor, and then they're like, I can afford to go back either. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, we both can't afford it.
Yeah.
So, but no, I want to go back, and I want to go back so bad. I love school. I love education. I would be able to pay my rent in like one click. Like, that would be great. That's really day to day. I would just love to pay my rent. Honestly, I would love to be able to pay my rent without any, mental toll or any fears or I'm always just so anxious every month, like, okay, can I do it? And so I'm hoping I can, that would be great if I had 30%, if I had 30%, I would be able to do that. I'd be able to take a vacation.
Oh yeah. I forgot those existed.
I've never taken a vacation in my life. Not over the summer, we would drive to Kings Island.
Mm-hmm.
That was our vacation, but I've never except for when I studied abroad in my undergrad, I've never taken a vacation, like an actual vacation. Taking a flight with someone or by myself and just live the dream. I've never been able to do that. So I would die to do that. I want to take a vacation. I want to go somewhere tropical. I want to use my passport again. I think that's what I would do with 30% raise. I would also be able to I would also help my mom out too with bills. I buy a house. I want to buy a house.
Oh yeah.
I would love to buy a house. Yeah, I said a lot of things, but
I think that's, first off, I said dream big, right?
Yeah,
so
for sure.
But
Yeah.
I do want to point out, I said dream big, and y'all said some very basic things.
basic
Y'all said some very basic things.
Yeah.
I would like to pay off my mom's medical bills and pay my rent, right? Very basic things that we should all be able to do. We should all be able to do those things.
Yep.
Right. Take a vacation. I feel like that is a very basic things. We all deserve to take a break. And Greg Hill is now making over 230 something. I feel like I'm lowballing it actually.
It was 270,000.
Okay, yeah.
I
So
think
I
that
lowballed
is-
it by a lot. I think
That's
right.
270.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, 270 with the 60,000 addition.
Okay.
I was
so over $270,000.
Mhm.
That's Greg Hill is not doing basic things.
No.
Greg Hill is very much able to pay for the basic necessities and some.
However many yachts he wants.
Right. Yeah.
He could pay off my loans and still have
all of our loans.
he could pay off all of our loans.
Mhm.
My loans are not that much. He could pay off my loans and have a good.
Well, and it was a huge thing to me thinking about just how much money is being just added to how much insane amount he already makes. Is that he's making $60,000 more a year, and that is more than librarians make a year.
Right.
People who have been working there for decades.
Yep.
Yeah.
And put in the time and the effort and work with the public to do whatever they can.
Absolutely. And those who are pages, those are who are putting up the books and making sure we're able to do all the things that we need to do when we get there. Those who are taking the harassment from the patrons that are coming in, whether that's verbal harassment or sexual harassment or whatever the case may be, right? Who are actually doing the work.
Yeah, I just wanted to also point that out too, because I don't think people understand how much harassment library workers get, if they are public facing, which is like Dani asked me to be a part of this, and I was like, great, I would love to. However, I am no longer public facing because I just transferred out. And I was like, that's why I asked Cinder to be a part of this, is I was like, you need a public service person here too, because that's a perspective that I can't speak to anymore. And I was only there for so short, but it is, even for the short time I was there public facing, it was horrendous. It was there were some days that I was so I was uncomfortable. Patrons make me uncomfortable. Patrons make me scared. And it's while I do at the end of the day, I do sometimes I'm like, okay, like these people are going through things. I have sympathy for that and I do just want to support them. We also were not given the support as staff members to deal with those things. We weren't given the sympathy. And that's just like not fair. Like I just don't know. And it's just like expected sometimes. Like you walk in and you're just like, oh, I'm going to endure this. Like you're going to endure some crazy stuff. Like it's great. And you're supposed to walk in the next day with a smile on your face. Like, hi, how can I help you? Like
I especially feel bad for a lot of pages in the system.
Yeah.
A lot of them are women. I would say probably a majority. At least from the libraries that I've worked at. And they get so much harassment. And it's really hard for them because they're only there part-time. So they don't have the connections with other staff. And so they might not feel as comfortable. Like just recently, there was a page that like came forward about something that was made her very uncomfortable that happened months and months ago because she just like didn't feel comfortable or confident to like talk to people about it. And that is every day. And that's most branches.
Yeah.
And of course, like behind the desk, people get it a lot as well, especially women.
Yeah. Right. And the proposed, at least last time I heard, right, the proposed raise was like 3% for workers, right? And like that's me on the outside hearing that, I'm like, that's a slap in the face to like the people. Like Greg Hill, the only time I ever see Greg Hill is like when there's a photo op. And so like, why do you need a 30% raise when you don't do anything?
3%, and it's also it's only for people that are 90 days out of their probationary period. So I have me and also one of my friends who has done amazing work for the library. She also started like around October. So when that raise happened, 3% at the end of the year, we both did not receive it. And so when people are like, oh, you guys just got a 3% raise, I'm like, you guys, not me. I didn't get it. She didn't get it. Which I understand is like a probationary period, but I'm like, it's not, I'm still here. Like I plan to be here. Like it's so,
And like I was a page for about 9 months, and that whole time I was picking up every shift that I possibly could at other branches, at the admin building, whatever I could to get up to 40 hours because I was only allowed to work 19 hours at my branch because they didn't want to give me benefits. Yep. And even still, it was literally a choice between, do I eat more than ramen this month or do I pay my rent? And I know that so many people working at the library are still in that situation.
Yeah. When I was part-time, I was also 19 hours a week and I had a part-time job. I had 2 part-time. I worked there and I worked at another job, and I worked at like a school, but when there were school closures, I didn't get paid. And so that was really hard too. Cause I was like a tutor. So if I went in, if snow day or what, I didn't get paid. So I was like busting my butt, literally.
Okay. So given like this kind of slap in the, not kind of, given this figurative slap in the face of a 3%, only for some people, only for some workers, right? This 3% raise. I think that's a really good it's a really good thing to point out. So I appreciate that. There is, and for the union, there is a no strikes clause. So we can't use that. But, y'all are currently under negotiations. What would y'all like to see, again, as individuals, not as speaking from the union, but what would you like to see come out of those negotiations?
Flat rate increase off the top, like baseline. It's absolutely ridiculous that they went for the 3% this last time and in general in the past. Like, do a flat rate increase. That's the only way to somewhat equitably treat the whole money situation. It's ridiculous that they are still like maybe about it.
Yeah. I was going to say the flat rate increase. Like my dream, like if I'm shooting for the stars, like honestly, like this isn't even like crazy, but I think there needs to genuinely be more like mental health resources for public service staffs. Like
Absolutely.
that is something that they need to do. They need to figure that out. They need to figure out all those HR claims because there's
That'd be
so
wonderful.
many behind the scenes. I can't even talk about it. I can't talk about it, obviously, but I can say there's a lot. I know there's a lot. I hear about them. Yeah, I think those are the things I'm thinking. Yeah, flat rate increase. Yeah.
Back insurance for part-time workers.
Yes. And they'd make our insurance better.
Yeah.
Because it's honest, like, it's okay for me, but
It's okay for Indiana, but that's not good.
Yeah.
No, yeah, absolutely.
It's
I get that.
fine for me, but also I'm a generally healthy person. For if you're not a healthy person, then I've come to realize it's not good for you.
A lot of people, especially in the union, talking about what a
Yeah.
30% raise doing for them. And some of it is literally just
Going to the
being
doctor.
able to afford life-saving medication.
Literally. And it's so sad to like hear that. It's so sad to hear that, genuinely.
Okay. What do you feel like those who are listening, those who are like watching the library again? I feel like the library board got to be tired of like, aren't you tired of people pulling up on y'all? Like, like, what are you doing? But those who are listening, those who are paying attention, what can we do to support library workers, whether they're in the union or not?
The resources of the library,
Yeah.
like first off, baseline, go to your library, get a library card. They're free in Indianapolis here. You just need your ID and to prove that you live in Marion County, and that's it. It's free. And use the resources and like just come in, be nice. That'd be wonderful. But also like it'd be great if you guys could just like try to find out who the higher ups are and maybe contact them in a nice way, please, because they're not going to respond to anything else. And like talk about how you support us being supported.
Yeah. Similarly, I was going to say, go to your library, get a library card, be nice. And if you see people not being nice to the library staff, say something. Like, we're working. We can't adequately stick up for ourselves sometimes. You know, if you think it's feasible and you feel like it's a safe environment to say something, then say something. Because those are the interactions that, you know, that make my day genuinely, when like someone's being rude to me. And then I had someone be rude to me at my old branch, and they walked away, and this woman looked at me. She said, "Ma'am, it's okay." And she shook her head. She said, "Ma'am, it's okay. You didn't do anything wrong, ma'am. You didn't do anything wrong, ma'am." And that just like, I was like, you're right. I didn't do anything. I'm sorry, I hit the table. I didn't do anything wrong. You're so right. I didn't. Like interactions like those genuinely make our day. Say that you appreciate what we do. Like it genuinely makes our day. Like it really changes like a bad day to an amazing day in 3 seconds. And I was also gonna, on top of like contacting the higher ups, I was also gonna say like, go to the board meetings.
Yeah.
They're open to the public.
And oftentimes, especially when the branches can't get to them.
Yes, that's a really good point. The branches on Mondays and Tuesdays are open till 8 p.m. The board meetings happen in the evening when the branches are open till 8 p.m. And so some people who work in public service can't go to the board meetings. They have programs on Mondays and Tuesdays. They have programs. The librarians have programs, BDA, like all that fun stuff. And like, so they can't attend the board meetings.
Staff.
Yeah, they're really understaffed. So like LAs are filling in, pages are working till cut off. Like and they want to have board meetings. And it's like, oh, well, so many people can't attend. And it's like, it is a question of like, why are we picking a time where so many people can't attend? that.
That's a good question.
Why are we picking it? And Michael Torres has talked about that. Yep. He has pushed on that. And I will continue to too. But like, yeah, like I didn't get to go to the board meeting, but I will say after looking at the notes, all of the notes of like patrons that stepped up and like said something, or like, this is my branch. And I love my staff. I love my library workers that help me out. Like, we need to support them. And like, those were like, reading stuff like that genuinely brought tears to my eyes. Like, those are the interactions that make it worth it, honestly, and make it so much better. So please just be nice. Please be nice. And recognize that like, yeah, like there's a lot happening behind the scenes.
Any last words before? This was amazing. This was beautiful. I appreciate y'all being.
Summer reading's still happening. It's fun.
It is.
It's
prizes.
You get little prizes. It's super fun. You see how we're still repping the library? Like, I love summer reading though. It's so fun. There's
Subtitles count.
Yeah.
Audiobooks count.
Audiobooks do count. Audiobooks count. You don't have to put, if you're reading some heated rivalry fan fiction, it counts.
I was about to say, does fan fiction count?
Exactly.
You can log it without titles.
Hours is fan fiction.
You can
log hours.
You can log it without titles. So fan fiction does in fact
mainly
count.
log by minutes and hours right now.
So you can log by minutes and hours. So fan fiction counts, guys.
1000%.
I'm pro fan fiction.
Hell yeah.
I'm pro fan fiction.
I mean, I feel like I had this discussion the other day. I had of like people were kind of like talking about people who read fan fiction. I'm like, do you know how like low like people are not reading anymore? Like, and like kids' reading levels are so low. I don't care if you're reading tentacle porn, man. Yeah. Like, as long as you're reading,
as long as you're reading,
do your
something.
Thing. Do your thing.
Because let me tell you, when I was 12, I was writing the fanfiction.
I
was writing.
Schoolers.
Novels.
Yep.
We were writing novels, and they were bringing people to tears. I cannot relate to this generation. I was the most disgusting, smuttiest fanfiction that you have ever heard, that you've ever read in your life.
This has never been talked about on this podcast.
And me and my peers were reading and writing it and voting on it on Wattpad.com. And it was like, and we were, our like the literacy crisis did not strike me. I never experienced that.
We just have to encourage them towards the fanfic.
Encourage them to. They're gonna find it.
Whatever
anyway.
works. Yeah. Look, as long as you're reading something. Read something. So it's beautiful.
And so much of it is so good too. Like full novels, like amazing writing.
Yeah.
Should be published, but can't be because the writer doesn't have enough money.
Yeah.
100%.
That's another episode.
That's another episode.
Honestly,
I also want to say support the Center for Black Literature and Culture at the library. They are doing some amazing events. They are doing some amazing events, and they are really branching out to the Black community in Indy, which is amazing. And they're so nice. And there's just some amazing stuff happening there. And I would say like go to library events, bring your children. Go to the new Kid Teen Central at Central. Like, it's so amazing there, so fun. Go to your local branch. They're doing some fun kids events. They're doing some fun adult events, I bet, too. Like
1000%.
Go and see. Figure it out.
On the library website.
On the library website.
We got our little list of all the events at all of the branches that you can explore and see what you're interested in.
And me at Central, I am the one going in and making sure it's on our personal calendar. That is literally my job. So it's up to date. I'm making sure it's up to date. I promise.
Beautiful. Okay. All right. This is dope. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate y'all so much. We will be right back after a short break. So hopefully everybody enjoyed that interview with Sim and Cinder. I greatly enjoyed doing the interview with them. I had a really good time, but like I also just learned a lot through that conversation. So now it's time for the Circle City shout out. Today's Circle City shout out goes to Indie Gay Market. Now we've shouted them out before, but as one of their community partners for such a community-based organization, such a great organization. If you've ever been to a big gay market event, it's always a good time. It's always like a really good place to be in, especially if you're queer. You don't have to be queer to go, but it's always such a great time to go. A great time to meet people and find so many things. There's so many talented people in the city. I don't think we can ever shout them out enough. Now, Indie Gay Market, they work to intersect art and activism to build a stronger, more inclusive future. And they work tirelessly to expand opportunities for queer entrepreneurs while remaining transparent, adaptive, and responsive to the needs of our ever-growing community. Indie Gay Market is imagining a future where LGBTQ plus artists don't just survive, they thrive. And in a country and sometimes a world where often surviving is a revolutionary act in itself, but it is nice to be amongst people and amongst a community and in a group that wants us to thrive and wants us to do more than just survive. And there's such a great example of like what it looks like to come together and regardless of differences, and try to make sure that the community has something that we can just be a little free in. So shout out to Indie Gay Market.
All right, so this episode should be out just in time for you to make your way down to the Indianapolis Liberation Center for PSL Indianapolis's monthly Liberation Forum. This one is on disability and socialism. It's at 6 p.m. Ultimately, we're going to be, discarding the myth that, there's a survival of the fittest and, the oppression of disabled people is part of, some evolutionary process. And because the very category of disabled changes over time and hasn't always existed, and the relationship between disability, capitalism, and imperialism, how we might as a collective approach and reconfigure our world, not to eliminate how certain people are, but to enable people to be who they are in their unique way, as well as considering, the ways in which we might want to do away with some practices that disable people. So, we hope to see you out there to learn and discuss with us about that. And then the next day is a queer writers workshop at 6 to 8 p.m. That's also when we're going to be painting the banner. So, paint the banner. It's all connected. July 30th, 6 to 8 p.m. at the center. And as always, start your weekend off right with Circle City Sangha's mindfulness meetups, 9:30 to 11 a.m. And then Saturday, August 1st, meet us at the Indianapolis Liberation Center in a parking lot in the back at 1 p.m. We're going to be doing our car caravan out to Fishers to let Bovine know he's not welcome in our state, and that from Indy to Fishers, Hoosiers are clear, that his ass isn't welcome here.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing because you called him Bovine, and his name is Bovino.
I know, but he's like a cow. I don't know.
I know. I love that. That's amazing. Okay. Sorry.
No,
okay.
It's fine. So you can always, as always, things pop up though. So, keep an eye on our website, indieliberationcenter.org. And remember, the road ahead is long, but we walk it together. Study with your comrades, build it to people, and always remember, theory without action is paralysis, but action without theory is chaos. Once again, I'm your host, Derek Ford, here with my comrade and lovely co-host,
Dani Abdullah.
Stay dangerous, stay disciplined, and stay in the struggle.
We say all power to the people. That means that we are our own liberators. We don't depend on nobody else. We depend on ourselves. And we take responsibility for ourselves. And therefore, we step up for our organization. Those that have proven by their actions and their practice that they represent for us. All power to the people and peace.
collaboration. Like, we act as if there's a scarcity of rights. If gay people get rights, women can't have rights. But that's not true. A victory for one is a victory for all. As Dani's just saying, you know? And
you talk about people being fearless in the face of whoever there is. They don't care. To the Liberation Center, I would say, this is what we need.